affairs and political analyst, and he joins me via the phone to share his thoughts on this subject. Thank you, Dr. Oshoma, for making the time.
Yeah, I greet you. Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon. So, what's your take on Audu's resignation? Of course, citing the reason he stated.
Yeah, the first thing is that we want to see people not hold up tenaciously to office. That's where I will salute Audu's resignation.
Okay.
The reasons, I will not want to look into the reasons, because the question would be, was he working with Wike, and all of those things? Audu has chosen his maybe dignity or integrity over his stomach. We're in a climb where people, hold on tenaciously to office, irrespective of what. Some people have argued that maybe his office is not getting anything. That is why he's resigning and looking for reasons. But irrespective, there are some other persons that would have just stayed put against all odds and be wishing and hoping that someday something will drop somehow. And they even use the name to begin to bamboozle. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are talking to? But he has decided to resign, just like the man in the commissioner in Akwa Ibom. So that's the part I want to look at. That's the level I will look at it from. You see people fight and kill over appointment. Some people will quarrel. Oh no, he didn't. Essay to it. The young man has said, "Look, I went my first reaction to it."
If the plans and projects of the new government, and we're imagining now, where he will take the appointment, does not have the problem, you might be shocked. I don't know what might shock you. There might be jobs you really have to search that have the kind of benefits that it go, because where else would I go to get these kind of benefits? Now, do we blame
where some people are given essay to president, essay to governor without tables or chairs? They are just there in nomenclature. So we should look at it broadly also.
Yeah. That's here in River State. I can't remember how long ago. There were over 200 or 2,000 special assistants one time. Yeah.
To Governor Wike.
Yes,
all
exactly.
Of them, who you can call liaison officers, but they were called special advisors. So most of these governors, there was a time Murtala and Yako appointed 1,000 special advisors in that same Adamawa state. So the governors made a mockery and a mess of that name, special advisor. Remember, there was a time Obasanjo appointed special advisors and said, "Well, I've appointed you. It's not compulsory that I must take your advice. I've appointed you as special advisors, but it's not compulsory that I must take your advice." So what are you now a special advisor for? What are you advising? So they actually made a mockery of that name, special advisor. So that sometimes these days when you hear somebody bandy the name special advisor, you now begin to wonder. By the time you look at the portfolio, you listen to the portfolio also, that's where you now know whether there's any meat to it or not.
Yeah.
But let's also, I don't want to diminish the importance of the import of what this Audu has done. For a young man in an environment, like you said, where the culture, that society is a culture to throw in the towel, to say, you know what, I no do again.
Yeah.
I resign. I quit. You hear that word, I quit. Here, nobody quits, even when they are dying in there. And so it is even the same thing with our marriages. Somebody is dying inside. They remain there. Hey, a woman should build the home. A man should build the home. It's the same thing. So the import for me is the fact that the guy is able, to quit, knowing when to quit.
Okay.
Saying, look, you know what? I quit. I can no longer continue like this. Whether for lack of food or whether for overfeeding, the fact remains that he has quitted in a society where people hardly quit. That's just the way for me.
Yeah, it is. It is quite the headline. Now, what I was going to ask is, because we don't have this habit of quitting, do we blame it on the system for not providing the kind of juicy jobs that people can use as alternatives, on the greed of the people that are refusing to quit?
They are both. First and foremost, let us just talk about the society providing job. Let us look at the educational institution. Recently, I talked about our education system training graduates to be job seekers rather than job creators. You are trained to get out of school, and then you are trained to drop a CV. In fact, some people will even tell you getting a job is a job. They teach you how to write interviews, how to get a job. But, nobody's teaching you how to be creators, how to be innovators. And then you hear that we talk about anytime you hear the Senate or the Federal Executive Council meets, the only thing you hear is how contracts are awarded, or you hear Senate talk about establishment of universities, establishment of this, construction of roads. Nobody is actually talking about, service-oriented jobs. Service-oriented. There are some people, they don't produce anything. All they are involved in is, they give services, they make money from delivery services. So, you find out that we don't talk about those things. We talk about farming, but we forget that farming without processing is poverty. You can't be talking about producing tomato, and there is nobody's thinking of how do we make something that we process this tomato and preserve it. How do we make something that will process the maize and preserve it? So when you have your educational system that is tailored along that line, you will have people from outside who will come, buy your agricultural produce, take them out, process them, and bring them to you. So you take your raw materials out. The people who tailor their education to be job creators rather than job seekers will be the one that will dominate your economy. And so when you have that, the job will diminish. And because there are no jobs, the job government will have to find a way to give jobs. They begin to create essays to essay, PA to essay to essay, special assistant to special advisor, senior special advisor to special assistant to the PA to the chief of staff. So when you have all of that, it now beholds the system is tailored in a way that the man who is holding on to half bread will not want to leave it in search of the full loaf. Yeah. So greed will set in. I gave you a background of this so that you will know where we're coming from. So you really don't. Greed becomes the order of the day, and then it does become a jungle-like setting. And like they say, no paddy man for jungle. Everybody is a survivor. Okay. So the one you are holding on to, you hold on to it tenaciously. That's why you see somebody becomes a governor. From governor, he goes to become senator. From senator, he comes back to become minister. From minister, he also wants to become local government chairman. And in some cases, if it's possible for him to become a commissioner again, he just wants to become relevant. Let me give you an instance. Wike, since 1999, has been in government, from local government chairman to chief of staff to minister to governor to minister again. Amechi, on the other hand, has been speaker for 8 years, governor 8 years, minister for 8 years. Now he's out of power, he's still looking for power. So when Amechi left as governor, he went to become minister. The dead minister who was Wike came down to become governor. Amechi finished as minister and left. The Wike who was governor now goes as minister. So they just rotate it among themselves. So if tomorrow they find themselves outside of this office, they will do everything to come back there. So greed now sets in. And then those people who are not able to get there we do everything possible to get there. So we hold on to the little end of the ladder, hoping to climb someday. So that's where you now begin to encourage and eulogize people who holding on to, no matter how small the ladder, the end of the ladder they are holding on to is. They now say, you know what, I'm tired of holding this end. I leave it, I quit. So that's where you begin to eulogize them and say, really? So you still have such people in this kind of environment, you know? So that's just it. And these people who have consistently been our leaders, I call them rulers, you know, from governor to speaker to ministers to, they are out of ideas. They're out of ideas. When they were in government, the education, the only thing they could do is to build school. But the curriculum is the same. The innovation is the same. Nothing. Teachers are not employed. Even the ones that are employed, how well are they? How educated are they?
Okay,
Many people will come out tomorrow and begin to criticize and tell you, oh, you see, the people are hungry and all of those things, like the stadium credit on Amici recently.
All right.
So that is tomorrow we
have to take a break now.
And begin to criticize also.
Okay, sir.
So
we do have to take a break now. After the break, I'll just ask brief questions about the one-party state agenda and the alliance between the president and the FCT minister. Please stay with us. Facts 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Oracle Chinedu here. Our conversation for this hour is on the presidential aide who resigned over what he claimed was a one-party state agenda, and he says an unholy alliance between the FCT minister and the president. My guest is Dr. Liborous Oshoma, a legal practitioner and a political and public affairs analyst. You're welcome once again, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you, my brother.
All right. So let's talk about this alliance between the governor and, between the president and the FCT minister. While legally, politically, there might be nothing wrong with it, ethically, it has raised a lot of questions. My colleague Soibi spoke with you a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken, and you described the political hypocrisy. You described as political hypocrisy, rather, the statement credited to the presidency that the appointment of opposition members, especially Wike, into the federal cabinet was based on merit and not for political reasons. Please explain that statement.
Yeah, what I said was, if it's about merit, I would love to ask the president if what are the basis of this merit? Is it because a governor built bridges that you say, oh, Wike is because he built bridges and so he's the most qualified, in real estate? I don't know whether you should conduct a census and interview of qualified members in Rivers State. Is it Wike? And then also, considering the fact that the president did not even take members from his party, you have a lot of qualified people from his party, and then you now went into opposition. How many people in opposition in other states did the president empower with ministerial appointments on merit, and then give them so much power to do what Wike is doing? So I will not be deceived by those rhetorics, because anytime politician is talking, I look beyond what he said and then the action of the politician. So it's I still believe, if you believe such statement, you believe anything, that the appointment was solely based on merit. We knew what Wike did for the president. We knew the alliances and the discussions, and Wike on his own had come out like a couple of times to say, oh, he decided between Peter B and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he decided to pitch his tent with Tinubu. So then Tinubu now coming to say, no, it's totally on merit. Come on now. We have been watching political events since as far back as 1979. So we are not new to this thing. So we know when politicians tell you it's on merit, it means it is not on merit to
okay, Dr. Oshoma,
our own interest.
Now, if you think about the office of the FCT minister, it kind of is like the governor of Abuja, right?
Yes.
Wike being a governor for 2 terms, let's remove party. If you think about it, experience-wise, he's qualified to be the governor of the FCT. If you really break it down to...
Mind you, I didn't say he's not qualified, though. There are 2 states... look, if you look at what Wike had done in FCT, give it to him. In terms of infrastructure, construction of roads, because all we look at in terms of, when we talk about development, all we talk about is construction of roads. We don't even look at, like I said, nobody is looking at service-oriented development. Once we say you have built road, you have built water, go back to 1979 and look at the campaign promises and look at the campaign promises of 2023. They are the same thing. So, in terms of all of this Nigerian development, Wike has tried with FCCs, building roads everywhere and all of those things. He gave it to him. But I didn't say he wasn't qualified. There are 2 things here. The president said he was on merit.
Based on merit, yeah.
And I said, no, it is not only on merit. It is because of what Wike did and what Wike stands to do that the president appointed him, not because he's the most qualified.
All right.
The state.
Finally,
that does not mean that he's not qualified.
Finally, what is your take on the assertions from different quarters that the presidency is looking to create a one-party state?
Have we had a multi-party state before?
Yeah, we've had the semblance of an opposition.
It's a ruling party syndrome. Nigerians don't play opposition. That is why any party that is not able to win a state election dies a natural death. No party, unlike other places where you see a party will say, okay, we'll keep trying. Any party that is unable to win a state in Nigeria dies a natural death. The only time you hear of them is when they win a state. If Labour didn't have Abia State as a state, governed by Labour Party, by now Labour would have died a natural death. You won't hear of them again. Even Abga that has a state in Anambra that have consistently had that state. How much of Abga do you hear? So what we have is food is ready politics. So that is why people, remember Cooper said he does not play opposition politics, and that's what most of them do. Once election is over, the party that wins, everybody moves into it. The moment they had refused tickets in that ruling party, that's where they begin to find their opposition. That's where they discuss opposition. In 2015, 20 governors endorsed Goodluck Jonathan for second term. So all of these people, in fact, when we talk about politics, really, we don't begin to talk about, forget the name. For me, I call it problem change name. When you talk about politics, you talk about ideology, all of them. Why is it easy for somebody to move from party A to party B to party C to party D and then back to party A? So people that are talking about ideology to the one party state, Atiku led 7 governors to pull out of PDP in 2014 and move into the APC that was just formed. They call themselves New PDP, and they moved into APC. Some person left APP, created CPC, and moved into APC. So all of that, at that point, that because all of them at that point, they didn't. It wasn't about ideology, but the fact that they wanted Goodluck Jonathan out at all costs. Because Goodluck Jonathan also at that point, everybody, the 2011, was there a credible opposition to Goodluck Jonathan in 2011? There was none, because everybody gravitated towards him. You had fringe political parties that were small, just regional parties. Until they were able to come together and form the APC, that's when we now begin able to talk about the credible alternative. So, if you look at it in summary, what we have always had always been one party. If you want to create a multi-party level, let those who are shouting, let us not degenerate in one party state. Let them create this coalition. Let them make it a reality, not for selfish ambition. That's why I like the fact that some people even say, okay, let us even come together and form a coalition, because that is what APC did when they were in opposition. So this idea of, if a man decides he wants to leave his political party and move into the ruling party, even though I find it very offensive, but I don't have a problem with it. What we should do is to ensure that in our constitution, because according to the Supreme Court judgment in the same River State, Amici and Omehia, the Supreme Court said the mandate belongs to the political party. If the mandate belongs to the political party, and it is the political party that campaigns, it is the political party that is on the ballot, we should have it stated in bold, in caps, in our constitution, that once you are elected on the platform of a political party, there should be no proviso. Whether as a governor, as a House of Assembly member, once you are elected, the moment you are leaving, leave the mandate for the party, because it is the party's money, the election is based on the party manifestos, not on the individual manifestos. So now you are giving a mandate in trust for a party, and then you took it somewhere else. So that's the problem, that's the challenge I have. But if whether you have always had a one-party state, you've always had a one-party state, all of them are all the same, they have the same mindset. And they have told you that, according to Wiki, all the governors, they nominated 1 or 2 persons to Mr. President for appointment. And these are people who are supposed to be playing opposition. They have the same mindset. And political parties have ideology and mindset. Okay. I think that your mindset has always been the same, irrespective of the name that you bear. It is just, a nomenclature. All right. All of you are in one people. That's basically the way I see it. Distinctly.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Oshoma. It's always a pleasure doing this with you. We appreciate it. Have yourself
My brother.
a wonderful day, sir.
And you.
Okay. Quite the conversation. Now there's a lot for you to respond to. We started with the presidential aide who resigned, claiming that it's a one-party state agenda that inspired his decision. He also said an unholy alliance between president and FCT minister fueled further that decision. So we talked about the culture, it's not a culture yet, of resigning from office, especially in Nigeria, especially with those juicy positions. We talked about the alliance between president and minister. We talked about the assertion of a one-party state. And well, I guess I'd say general political affairs. What's your take? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Good afternoon, Chinedu. I congratulate Audu. Some people are principled in their nature. He did not want to trade his integrity for compromising what does not comprehend with his personality. For me, Audu is one in a million, and he has shown transparent attitude. He's made an excellent example. I hail him. That's from me, Palibo Taylor Harry. And speaking about resignations, a commissioner in Akwa Ibom also resigned. Remember, the governor of that state said, if you do not defect with me, then resign. And so, Ememobong, I believe his name is, resigned. I was supposed to have a conversation with him, but he said, well, he's not granting interviews on that particular subject. He had dropped a statement, he had resigned, and that was it. Ida calls from Nkoro. Hello, Ida. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Good evening, my brother.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
Yes, I want to congratulate this guy that resigned, the present age. Yes, it's when a man take a decision, he stand for that decision, no matter the money. And the commissioner who resigned from Akwa Ibom State, those people, when they want to contest for any state, who will come out for them? But they don't look the salary, they don't look the money they will get from inside the presidency or the governorship hand to try. The one-party system, my brother, it will not work, but it will not work. The governors will not work. But if you don't work in a state, the president will not query you. But if it's opposition, they will cost you, they will abuse you to start working. The one-party system, I don't like it. Because I know that 2027, who will become from APC to PDP. Thank you, God bless you.
Hold on, Ida, hold on.
I'm hearing you.
Can you, if you were in that guy's position, can you resign from a position if their principles and values do not align with yours, even though it's a juicy position?
I will resign.
Okay.
With my name.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Ida. Gift calls from Yenagua. Hello, Gift. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. The first topic, I just missed it because of network, but no problem. Let me talk about what we are doing. There's no bad thing there. You have the right to resign. There's no cause for alarm. You are free. But those reasons, as far as I'm concerned, I disagree with him. It's his own personal opinion, but as a person, just like Liborous Oshoma was disagreeing with the excuse from the presidency concerning Ezeboye Sowike, it's the same way with Audu. How come Audu open his mouth to tell you and I, Nigerians that are so intelligent and smart, that it was because of, he should go and join this very alliance, the coalition, simple as ABC. What are you telling me?
Gift.
That because of
Gift.
the alliance between
Gift.
Bola Tinubu and president,
Hello, Gift.
this other person.
Gift photo. Gift. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let's imagine, right, that you are a handyman. Say you do furniture or you provide some service. Abi?
Yeah.
And I want to hire you to do my kitchen cabinet or to do cushion in my parlor. They say I give Sabi the work, he is good, he is this one. I say okay. Now, as I'm about to hire you, I now see that there's a friend that you have that I don't like, or there's somebody that you have a relationship with. Nobody say you cannot do the work, but I don't like your association with that person. I now say, based on the alliances of Gift, I don't want to work with him again. Now that is personal opinion. You are not telling me that you disagree with my opinion, not to hire you, not by force.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Let me give you straightforward answer.
Why?
Aliyu Audu was one of the vocal spokesperson in terms of young men like you and I to Mr. President in that campaign. I followed him because I supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu, even though everybody knows that I'm a PDP man. This man saw the alliances between PDP persons, Labour, different parties. The same thing played out in Labour under, what is his name, P2P. This man was comfortable with that very picture I'm painting here. What happened now? It is because, I'm still telling you, that is why I disagree with him. It is because of his brothers from the north. This very coalition or whatever. Do you know that we have moles in every system? So he should go. Thank God for even him leaving this early.
Okay.
Because these are the people that will enter meeting with you and take your information to this coalition for them to punish, just like Ali Ndume, who is predicting Jonathan and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the same thing.
Okay.
So they should go and relax. Nothing will happen. They should forget about that excuse.
Thank you. Gift. Lugaman calls from HA. Hello, Lugaman. Good evening.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my, Lugaman, there are problems already. Can you hear me?
Are you hearing?
I'm struggling to.
Are you hearing?
I'm trying to. Keep talking. Let's see if we can make it work.
Yes. Are you hearing me now?
Just go ahead.
Yes. I want to first of all commend the.
Oh, Lugaman, I'm so sorry. I had to let you go. I apologize. Try to call back. If you have another number, maybe try that one. Justice from Mahuda. Oh, I've lost that call. All right, call back if you can. 0817-923-0002. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. The WhatsApp number 080-903-06-416 and the phone lines 0817-923-0002. That's 3 zeros. Okay, I'll get back to the phone line shortly. What is killing the cocoyam is not far from the cocoyam. The president is using the FCC minister to create and demonize the country into becoming a one-party system. How can he seal his own party secretariat? Ezekiel Isaiah is asking on WhatsApp. Good day. The presidential aid giving arm's length to President Tinubu's administration is a matter of integrity. It is the greedy and selfish politicians that will embrace the ongoing political hypocrisy called defection. It is evil against our democracy. All these are grand plans to incapacitate and paralyze all other political parties to make Nigeria a one-party country to the advantage of the ruling APC for 2027 election. Let the APC-led government know that this authoritarian tendency to weaken the opposition instead of providing good governance is dangerous for our democracy. Genuine politicians with integrity cannot support this. Elder Joel Adolphus from Degema, that was quite the read. Obed calls from GRA. Hello, Obed.
Good evening, Mr. Sam.
Good evening.
Mr. Sam, I think I commend the courage of a man to have tendered his resignation.
I will do.
You understand? Yes, I commend him. I think it's rare in the current political settings we have in this country, because we have seen people who call a certain political party cancer. Later, they have now embraced the same cancer. So I commend this very young man. You understand? It's not easy, Mr. Sam. You know, he gets money from there. Yes, he tendered his resignation. And for the wave of defection, Sam, I tell you that many people who are defecting right now, they feel that Nigeria does not have a working, strong electoral process. That's why they are defecting. So they feel the president may want to use federal minds. That is the whole essence of this defection. And that is why we all are calling for a better electoral system. If we have better electoral system, all the 36 governors can defer to APC. The people, when it comes to that election, the people will be the major determinant factor on who will be elected on any position. You understand? So that is just the whole thing. So I don't believe in any one-party system. It's not going to work that way if we have better electoral system. So people are defecting because they are afraid that we don't have a law in the country. The president may want to muscle his way, undermine the rule of the law that we have, to be able to impose whoever he wishes. So
Okay.
that's why people are afraid.
All right.
Just the thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Obed. And Chima is my final caller from Ruokuta. Hello, Chima.
Good evening, Mr. Oracle.
Good evening.
Mr. Oracle, it's quite unfortunate that the man that put up his explanation letter is making the news because this thing has to do with his own malicious execution.
Chima, malicious. Somebody resigned. Why does he have to be malicious?
We said because of the entanglement between the president and ENWK.
Yes.
Do you not see the reason? If you're prejudiced about somebody, is that the reason why you will have to delude yourself or elude yourself from a governance that you believe that is doing well? Because from his statement, he never said that the president is doing well in the terms of governance or his policy. You understand? So you are envious of somebody, and because of you believe that with a person you cannot manipulate the system, and you decided to excuse yourself. So to me, I would have even said I wouldn't have even made it the news because it's only what we were discussing about, we're supposed to discuss about. Now the aspect of defection, defection is people's right. You understand? But we have to understand that the reason why he put defect is to go for a favorable condition. Even when we were in secondary school, what we learned is how organisms move from one environment to the other because where they were went favorable. The people that are defecting are in the arms of government. They have to do things with the economy of the country. So if they see that the man that is pioneering the system of the country is actually doing well, they will move because they will have to encourage the person. Not like when you are not in the party, just wait to again the other counterparts they are doing. If you have a solution that you know that the country is in problem, why don't you bring it? Because you are pathetic Nigeria. Not that you don't choose to be supporting the country and thinking that they are going to vote for that. So those people are defecting. They are defecting because the policy of the president is actually yielding better results. So to me, I'm very, very okay. My name is Chima.
All right, thank you very much, Chima. But responding to your statement from earlier, he did criticize a policy of government. It was in the statement I read earlier. No amount of defections or endorsement will keep Tinubu in office come 2027 election. Remember, that will be one 2023 election without single councillor in his Labour Party. They only turned it through IREF glitch and announced result by 4 a.m. That is the opinion of Victor on WhatsApp from Egbema. Now, today, Wike alliance with Tinubu starts. What was he waiting for? He resigned after 2 years of the so-called unholy alliance. These people think we are stupid, David says on WhatsApp. Tinubu will be voted out come 2027. Ogu Justice on WhatsApp still. There's a lot happening on WhatsApp. The game Wike is playing is a Tinubu second-term agenda because Wike knows that there is no candidate in the South to challenge Tinubu, Maxwell says. Well, Maxwell, I'm going to read your comment again at the 5 o'clock conversation because it is about the PDP producing a candidate from the South. So I'd like to know who that person will be. Why the lawmakers will not pass a law that make any sitting governor lose his or her seat if they defect. Well, I'm out of time. I'm down to seconds. Thanks for being here.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info.